Good afternoon. What I wanted to do today, something hopefully that will only take a few minutes. Um, I don't want to call this a woodworking project, because it's really not. It's more of a practice, something to practice your sawing, your planing. What I have here, this is a stand of flags. These are the flags of the branches of the United States military, and this base here is just there's a piece of walnut that I rounded over. I actually used the practice aspect of this project was I use this I use here this rounding plane, or some people would call it a hollow plane because of the hollow sole. But it was more of a practice getting this plane set up and sharpened and all that. And a bit of a domino effect there. And I'm a big proponent of the U.S. military, the people in it. I mean, I'm not trying to be political in any way, shape, or form. It's the people, not the politics, that I admire. Anybody who volunteers to potentially be shot at and is pretty special in my book, but that all out of the way. What I want to do is I want to make a new base, and I'm just using this piece of off-cut cherry here. And the reason I want to make a new base is the width. I want it to be narrow. This sits on top of a reproduction campaign desk I made a few years back. It was something I saw at Mount Vernon, and actually at an event at Mount Vernon. So I basically was taking pictures, and I copied a lot of the aspects of the desk that I made it. And I have a lot of the I like making certain colonial period pieces, like a lap desk, that type of thing. And I have the desk as basically a display for all of those items that I've made. So I took care of the boring out of the holes on the drill press. You obviously don't need to see that. The two things I really want to do here first, excuse me just a second. First is I'm going to cut it, saw it to length. And when I'm sawing a narrow piece like this, I will obviously using a bench hook here, but I put some sticky back sandpaper on there just to keep it steady, because they tend to slide. And I'll use this crosscut saw here. I will usually put some oil on it before I use it. And what I want to do first, find my combination square, pencil. I'm going to make a saw line. Probably can't see, I'm sorry about that. What I'm doing is just making a line to saw to. This is such a narrow piece, it's really difficult to not saw to the line. And one thing, what you want to do too, if you do this, obviously a lot of people won't, but if you are putting sandpaper on here, don't have it cross your saw curve. You don't want to be sawing into it. So this saw is pretty sharp. I sharpened it. I haven't sharpened it in a little while, but I haven't really used it in a little while either. Always let the saw do the work. Drop your hand and just follow your line. that one off a touch at the very end, but it's still pretty good. Just a hair off at the very bottom. I should have done was make the salt carefully on this side. And that looks pretty good. Yep. A little bit of fuzz at the bottom, but I'll clean that up. I do not have a shooting board, as it were, but this will do. Test that out. Still a touch off. Once again, this doesn't have to be, certainly doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be as square as possible. A little bit more should be good. This is where the sandpaper is actually a detriment. When I do this, I usually use my left hand as a guide, sort of pushing the board into it. It's not too bad. There's a hair off. Cut's actually not deep enough either. So let's touch up a little bit. That's definitely close enough for what I want to do. It is a less than a millimeter off, not even that, and I will be chamfering this though. I want to see if I can get this camera. What I'll do here normally to chamfer, I'm not a, if you've ever used a Wonder Dog, Veritas makes them, I'm on the fence with them. They are okay, they're not as wonderful as they say, pardon the pun. But in a pinch they work just fine. Normally I would, maybe I will, I was going to say normally when I chamfer I don't put any type of guideline. I sort of eyeball it. If once you do it enough, you pick up on it. It goes a little too shallow. I'm going to lift this up a little. Once again, I'm eyeballing this. making about a 1/4 inch chamfer. Beforehand I sharpened both the block plane and the smoothing plane I'm going to use. Just get that off a little, and now I'm going to do this side. As I'm sure you know, oops, most people will tell you to do the end drain before you do the long drain. But you can use a guideline if you want, either a pencil or a marking gauge. This does not take very long. I suppose it would be even quicker if you had a router table set up, but the one, I have nothing against routers, but I don't like the noise involved with them. They're sort of messy, but they're not really much less messy than a hand plane is, to be honest. But they are loud. I'm going to move this over just a touch. This Wonder Dog, the issue with the Wonder Dog is the chop, if you want to call it that, is this not wide enough. I guess there's a way to add to it, but for the amount of time I use it, it doesn't seem to be worth it. What I'm trying to do is to make the corners meet at a 45. The chamfer corners, I mean. Flip this around. The block plane is sharp enough to where I don't have to worry about going against the grain. Not at this shallow angle. I'm going to go really fast. This is how I would normally do it. There's no sense in messing around with this. Almost there. Just about 4 or 5 more passes should do it. I think that's good. And see if we can see. I'll put it back up here. Pardon me. What I'm trying to do is do those corners. Sorry, the lighting here is really poor. I'm going to work on that end a little bit too, but what I'm trying to do here is do the corners 45. And that's not horrible, it's pretty good. The last thing I'll do, maybe I'll do it up against here, you can possibly see it better. I already planed this, it was from a rough sawn board. So I already smooth planed it and flattened it, but I will, just to take the pencil marks off, I will run the smooth plane over it just a couple passes. one more pass should do it. I like doing you can chamfer after you smooth the top, but I like doing it to, it seems to make the end grain chamfers a little bit more crisp. So that's why I do it that way. But yeah, this, as I said, I don't want to pass this off as a woodworking project. It's really not. It's really just practice. But it does teach you some basics. Like, not, you know, you don't really have to do this, but practicing on sawing, you know, sawing to a straight line, planing, chamfering, those things. If you're going to be woodworking by hand, exclusively or almost exclusively, you really need to practice a lot first, because you'll find yourself you'll probably find yourself getting really frustrated really fast and burning through wood, which is not inexpensive to say the least. So it's good to have a few practice projects like these, where you're not really spending any money, and you're not making something that is you know, what I would call a piece of fine furniture. So yeah, give little practice projects like this a try. It'll teach you about, you know, using your smooth plane, using your block plane, sawing to a straight line. You know, typical little things that you will apply later on. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Thank you.